Hey everybody, it's Geekopolis here. So there is two Star Wars developments that I wish to discuss, and they're linked pretty integrally, I would say. At least it involves the same movie. So the Rise of Skywalker is a movie I've already been critical of, viewing the first trailer. I believe my thoughts were somewhere along the lines of it's pretty clear this is going to be a clusterfucking disaster. But I was thinking, how bad can it really be, though? Because you gotta understand, from my point of view, The Last Jedi to me was one of the most insulting movies I have ever seen. It really just was everything that I despise in movies. Essentially, it was. It was inconsistent. It destroys what came before it. It was all flash, no substance. And it was praised for being something monumental when it clearly wasn't. That always annoys me when people like hype movies about it's so amazing. You gotta go see it. It's super this, that, and the other. And then when you watch it, you're like, this was shit. Does everybody like this? I get it. What is so what? And what annoys me about that is because if people go and watch that, then more people will make movies like that because they know it'll make money. So you're not getting good stories, you're getting whatever makes the most money, and that's something that, Mark Hamill even said. It's not about if it's good, it's about if it makes money. Which sucks, but that's the world we're in today. Quality counts for almost nothing at this point. So, coming off the heels of that, I was like, well, it can't get worse. That Lightspeed scene completely ruined space battles. They destroyed Luke's character. I mean, arguably, barring, say, Vader, the most important character in Star Wars. So, how much worse is it going to get? So, they did this new trailer. Majority of the footage it's nostalgia bait, really. But there's one image it'll be on the screen that is, I think, the most bait of all. Beyond the obvious nostalgia bait of showing the original trilogy and characters and all, like a quick little synopsis, rundown, I should say, of what they went through. A little bit of the prequel stuff. As a fan of the prequels myself, it didn't do anything for me. Nor I'm a fan of the originals as well, obviously. And again, didn't do anything for me. It's just like, I know what you're doing. You're just trying to, oh, look, remember these characters that you actually liked? That weren't complete shit? Well, here they are again. Come see our movie, please, because we know you don't have any vested interest in the characters we've made, because we have had really no cohesiveness between these movies whatsoever. There's no real compelling narrative stringing these movies along. There's no overarching theme, something that everybody, well, what about the theme? There is no greater theme. It's just whatever the hell the movie wants at the time. Okay, you can't use that argument in one movie saying, well, this movie made me feel this way because I think the theme is this. But, I'm always going to preach theme is not as important as the actual story itself, but it is good to have one. It is kind of important. So there's really nothing there. There's nothing that makes these movies feel like they're actually part of a set. You can watch these, individually, and it feels like it's no different than watching them together. Because there was no plan. There was no communicating what this was supposed to be. There was no story laid out. There was no skeleton, no framework to work with here. And it's very clear how disjointed Disney Star Wars is. So, back to this. Barring the whole baiting them with the nostalgia bullshit, and then you get into the actual new stuff. And there's really only a few scenes that made me think, okay. what does this trailer tell us really? One, we get to see Kylo and Rey fighting. Yay! Woohoo! Great, I guess. Not like everybody didn't see that one coming, considering he's the only villain left. Well, that's not true. You had to bring Palpatine back, Darth Sidious, because you have no fucking clue what you're doing. You have a villain. You have Snoke, okay? He was supposed to be your Emperor, your Palpatine. And you killed him off. And now you're like, wait a minute, who's gonna be our big head villain now? Kylo? That could have been somewhat interesting, I guess. But no. We can't have anything decent anymore, ever. And apparently now they're just gonna bring Sidious back because I don't know. I feel like literally like that's the atmosphere at Disney right now, Disney Star Wars. Like I'm just picturing a bunch of guys in suits sitting around a table, like, okay, the fans are pissed. The real fans, not the social justice idiots that we want to pander to, not the casual normies that don't buy any of our shit, yet we want to pander to them so heavily. Unbelievable. They don't like our stuff. They're not buying it. Maybe we should just, I don't know, bring back the Emperor or something? He was pretty popular. Let's just do that. Because, why be original? So, we get to see Kylo and Rey fighting. We already know Rey's going to beat him. Because, look at it like this. If he beats her, one, you're having your hero lose in the last movie. That's stupid. That does not make sense. Because in the end of the, story, your hero's supposed to triumph over the villain that they could not defeat before. They learned something. They've gotten stronger. They've went through hardships to get strong enough to defeat this person. They have some development. That's the entire point of a story. And yes, you can say, well, okay, but this is different. Okay, that's fine. You can have different, but you have to have it make some sense. So, if she beats him in the first time they fight and then loses now after training and getting stronger, that doesn't make sense. If you've had her powers, diminish in some way that makes logical sense, I guess you can tell that narrative. Or you can just say Kylo got so much stronger on his own without a master, without any explanation, I guess, but then I'm writing the story for you. And that's not my job as a viewer. I'm supposed to go in, watch the movie, enjoy it, and be entertained, and you're supposed to tell that information to me. I'm not supposed to try and figure it out. This is Star Wars. This is not a mystery novel. So, that's what we learned. One of the things we learned. We learned, apparently, the First Order has thousands and thousands of more ships, because there's this one scene where a flash of light, I'm assuming lightning, it looks like, goes off in the distance, and it reveals all these thousands of ships. I am assuming they must be in some kind of atmosphere. It's a lot of ships to be in one friggin' atmosphere. You understand how big these things are. But it's plausible. Plausible enough anyways, where I'm not going to nitpick it too bad. However, one, this another problem with not having a coherent narrative. Where the hell were these ships in the last two movies? You couldn't use this big-ass fleet around, I don't know, your fucking Death Star weapon? Or, I don't know, use them to cut off the Radis's escape? No? Okay. How much resources do these people have? How much did the Republic just let these guys build whatever the hell they wanted? Again, if you don't have any, connection between your stories, it makes no fucking sense. Everything in the story just comes out of nowhere. It's like in the end of Game of Thrones where suddenly, they're fighting the Night King, they're losing all these people, like what, half their soldiers, and then they have tons more soldiers left. Don't need them, of course, because you can just have one dragon do everything, even though, whatever, that's stupid as well. I don't know what it is with writing these days, but it's just awful, and it's sad, because we used to have good stories, which I didn't have to think about why everything just doesn't feel right with them. I just knew, oh, this works, or oh, this doesn't, or this didn't work. But back on point, they have all these ships. I'm assuming they're on some planet that the rebels... I'm going to take a guess here. It's going to be the last resistance stronghold. That's the only thing apparently they can do at this point. And they sent all of their ships to it. Again, my whole point, okay, well, there's all the ships there. Kamikaze, a couple of big ships through there, and you're good. Sacrifice 3 people to destroy their entire fleet. You see why that space scene doesn't really hold up now? Because every single time I see a ship now that's supposed to be a big threat, I'm like, oh, a hyperdrive through it. Easy. It ruins space battles. Fundamentally. If you can just do that, then what the fuck's the point of even having space battles and having these big armadas? If they have such an obvious weakness, just use swarms of TIE fighters in that case. But, whatever. Also, another thing is, I hope to God that that's on a planet, because if it's not, and that's in space, I have a lot of questions. Because that was clearly some kind of lightning streaking across the friggin' sky. And if they're in space, well, what? So, it looks like a planet, though. It looks like, there's clearly, I think there's pretty clearly clouds, and they're in the atmosphere, I think. So, hopefully that'll be fine. It's not too unprecedented. It doesn't look like, but I guess the best comparison would be at the start of Revenge of the Sith, where all those Venator-class ships were fighting the Separatist vessels. Also, this image, this great image of Rey, more bait. I feel like this entire trailer is just bait. So, you got Rey with this. Look at this thing. This double lightsaber. It look again. Why does everything feel so fan-fiction-y in this? Then she swings it down, and it looks like Darth Maul's dual blade, double-sided lightsaber that he had. Now, I don't dislike the double-sided lightsaber, but the way she has it where it just swings down and clicks into place is so stupid. I understand, I think, anyways, what they were going for. I think their main thing was, oh, this is going to look so cool, but it looks stupid instead. Now, that fundamentally doesn't work as a weapon because of the design is flawed. I'm not an expert on melee combat or sword-based, fighting and styles and stances and stuff, but I know enough to look at something and say, that doesn't look right. That would not function practically. And this weapon does not seem like it would be a practical weapon. You're adding more weight to something than is necessary because it does the same effect. You're only going to add a weight to something to add more, usually killing potential, or defensive capability. Something to give you an edge in combat. This really doesn't do anything because it's a lightsaber, you can just cut right through things. And defensively, it really doesn't give much of a benefit because it's essentially roughly the same amount of space is being taken up. You might get an extra couple inches, and that is important, yes, in battle, because fighting is a game of inches. But it's not enough when you're, considering the weight that's added onto it, is going to make it more cumbersome to use than it would be if it was just a single blade. Now, when she swings it to make a double blade, double-sided lightsaber, that's a little more practical, but not much. Because, again, in Star Wars, we've seen the double-sided blade can be used to pretty good effect. However, I just cannot see them doing this in a very effective way. Especially with Rey and how their combat has been. Her style is basically just swing at shit. There's no finesse. There's no grace to her style. And that is a very graceful weapon, as you've seen in, as we've all seen in the Phantom Menace with Darth Maul. Pretty much one of the main and only redeeming factors about Episode 1. My least favorite real Star Wars movie, anyways. The one that George Lucas did, because I still don't really count these as canon. I just count them as more of an annoyance. But it's, I don't know, it's whatever. The other big point I wanted to make with this, Rey is clearly holding, obviously, a red lightsaber, and it makes her look like she's all gonna turn to the dark side. Which, again, I feel like they're either ignoring Episode 8, which I don't blame them, I would too, I still do, actually. But wasn't that the whole thing when she was in that weird pit thing, how she rejected the dark side? This is clearly either a dream sequence, or some kind of, like, possible different version or something, a nightmare. It's obviously not real. There's no way that they would make the biggest Mary Sue in film history become suddenly the bad guy. They would never do that. So this is clearly, again, more bait. Like, ooh, come and watch. See if Rey's turned to the dark side. Look at this. Ooh, she has a double-sided lightsaber. Which it's just bait to get people to come into the theaters and say, to buy a seat, bolster your numbers, and then when it comes time for the movie, it's nothing. It's clearly not gonna actually happen. So, with that being said, that's my thoughts on kind of the trailer stuff. So, I'm gonna move on now, but it's just stupid. This whole thing has been just trying to get people, convince people to come in and, come on, just give it a chance. Just give it a chance. Even though it's so obviously stupid as hell, just give it a chance. No. Normal people that don't need to review it, because I'm going to have to review this for the channel, don't go see it. It's going to suck. Wait till the reviews come out. Wait till some people you trust on YouTube watch it and review it, then go see it. Because if this is successful, we're going to get more shitty movies. And more shitty movies. And it's never going to end. So this Darth Rey nonsense, this is clearly bullshit. Point I wanted to make here. Sidious. Darth Sidious, Emperor Palpatine. Why can't they just let anything from the original trilogy just lie? So this is where I'm going to be transitioning from the actual trailer and all that, the new stuff that we got, to the poster that was released. And look at it. It looks awful. It's just... I hear a lot of people saying it looks fan-made, and it does. It really does. Or it looks like a video game poster. Like, it's so clearly fake. Like, the Emperor superimposed in the background. To me, this does not feel like the works of a multi-billion-dollar corporation. It feels like what some fanboy did in his basement one day. And it sucks. Why does everything have to be... It's like it's a joke, almost, Like they're putting so little effort into these movies at this point. It's just like, okay, we obviously don't give a shit about Star Wars. So I think it's a toy. I believe that's what the case is. It is a image of a Darth Sidious toy. And it's unbelievable, the amount of just lackadaisical effort put in. It's like, okay, well, just get a toy image and put in the background of, like, Rey and Kylo fighting on a cliff or something. So, that's that. You can see the poster for yourself. It's stupid looking. It looks... When I first seen it, I thought it was fake. I thought it was a joke. Like, okay, somebody just did that. They're playing a prank. They're saying, oh, I work at Disney, Star Wars, blah, blah, blah. No, it's real. I don't know how they do it, man. I really, really don't. You know? After The Last Jedi, I'm like, okay. I don't know how bad the next one's going to be. I know it's going to be a train wreck. But I'm like, can they really outdo themselves? That's the only reason I'm going to go see this movie. Because I want to see how they're going to tie this shit together. It's going to be bad. I know it's going to be bad. And I really hate even wasting my money on it. But I got to do a review for the channel. I got to get my view on this out because I'm very passionate about this and it pisses me off. So, hopefully, I don't know, it'll be interesting. I at least hope. Oh. Hope that it'll be entertaining. And I'm pretty sure it will be, if nothing else, that it's going to be bad. But, yep, that's my thoughts on the little extra footage we got and the Emperor in the back and all that, the new poster and all that. I think it's stupid. It's going to be stupid. But I'm going to see it anyways. Only to review it. Hopefully that it's, again, at least entertaining to me. It's probably going to be, if nothing else, in a masochistic way. You know, it's like, it's going to hurt to watch it, but it's like, I can't look away. So, tell me what you guys think of both the poster and the new footage. I'm really curious. If you'd be so kind to share the video around, get the channel going, that'd be great. And please do considering commenting, and subscribing. That'd be great. Thank you, Gigapolis.